things. Okay. Okay. So do the donut. We're back to the donut. About 6 months ago, or 3 months ago, or wherever, probably over 6 months ago, I got attacked by a donut. Knock on wood. So yeah, I was working on. I saw a vision of a donut ship. I was sitting down. I mean, I wasn't outside or anything. I was by a window, but I saw a donut, and then I got like energy attacked. I couldn't sleep, and so on. So, taps into some kind of reality. So now it's nothing but donut jokes, because those things are terrible for you. Stop. Look who's here. Got from her 20-hour nap. Yeah. She's out of control. So who knows what the future holds? Yeah, we're just going to a bit of a reset energy. So going to donut energies in the future again, through the donut's perspective. I imagine a lot of people want that one. Yeah, go into the donut hole basically of reality. Well, it is esoteric energy. I mean, having a donut here is not exactly the safest. It's not exactly healthy. So if you want to kill your population off, that's one way of doing it. I'm not sure if that's a good way to go down. But anyway, yeah, if you want to sabotage someone, just give them a donut. Yeah, it's funny that because I do have connections to the medical field. Here they're helping patients and all that. Then they have like donuts for all the staff. It's like, huh, how does that work exactly? You're helping others, but you're not helping yourselves. Okay. And it's not exactly an easy environment there. Also, quantum physics, the alien dimension. So I just kind of see the quantum realms. Also, there's quantum computing, which does have a consciousness connected to it. Maybe not a very powerful one, but there is. It's like a computer brain where it can, like a soul can connect to it. Still have a long ways to go for that. And that's your AI, you can say. But that's very much in its infancy. It just can run things very fast. That's about it right now. Yeah, it's not quite there yet where actual consciousness can. I mean, it might have. I mean, yeah, it can talk to people, I guess, but not like how we talk to each other. It's not quite there yet. It feels like. So, kind of going into that energy too. Yeah, look up quantum computing. Yeah, I imagine some of it's being. I mean, there's some of it out there. I think we have like mainframes that run all that credit card stuff. That's like the fastest. Quantum computing is like the fastest. I'm not sure it's faster somewhere, but still, it's like a whole nother. Yeah, it's almost like when it's quantum computer is running. It's almost like CERN, like it creates a portal. Yeah, this is the vibe I'm getting from that. So yeah. So yeah, the future is unknown for a lot of us. Yeah, especially somebody with no YouTube channel. Yeah. So slimming down. Private sessions. Scheduler. So the shop, change the shop around. It's a little bit easier to navigate. We have the big guy there. Okay. Okay, all right, going to donut consciousness and whatever it has to say to us about how screwed we all are. No, well, yeah, anyway. Yeah, change is inevitable. I'm experiencing it, that's for damn sure. So, all right, go into that, and then the quantum realms. So, all right, here we go. Greece uses the donut consciousness esoteric realm, a neutral connection, so not to worry. It is us to be here. The donut collective. Technically, yeah, the donut is being channeled, sort of. It's more at a higher level, though. But yeah, think of like the donut as connected, yeah, pulled from another realm and brought into yours, or channeled into your reality, however you want to look at it. A donut, as you can see, the physical donuts with all the sugar is a self-sabotage food. And some people eat those things just to self-indulge, but also like, hey, things aren't going so great, but at least I got this going for me. And yes, it can cause a lot of difficulty, especially like with the arteries. Eventually, humanity will pull themselves out of that dimension. Right now, they're obsessed with was it hamburger meat? Only because it's cheap, but also even the hamburger is esoteric too. There are hamburger realms, you can say, of false expectations, like you see in fast food, like they're supposed to be good for you, or it is cheap. So it used to be, at least, but there is a downside to it. So, well, basically, what we're getting at is like your physical foods will probably have some kind of eventually redemption, meaning like humans will become more conscious of what they're doing. It's getting there. It's not quite there. You can say right now with inflation, people are getting pushed away from their self-indulgence, self-destruction. And that also has to do with the population not growing as much as it used to. So it's like, you know what, we need some of you here a little bit longer than you thought. Or, instead of you all dying off because of all the donuts and all the hamburgers you ate, we need some of you here for a while. So a little bit longer, but there's an agreement there. Don't feel like you're stuck here. Don't go into that energy. But you say you are preparing your world for a less populated reality. Hasn't quite come in just yet, but it will, because you don't need so many people part of a world to go through all these things anymore. It's just you kind of need each other. Obviously, well, because there's so many pulling down on you to sabotage you, and you have others to help you. Not be sabotaged. So there's another way of looking at it. Even if you don't know the whole entire population of your planet, some of you do go to other parts of your world just for vacation, energy vacation. You might be a place that comes to mind out of nowhere. Some might be like Alaska or some, just the opposite. Even like some of these, like the pyramids or some. Well, then again, the pyramids are kind of like working. It's happened to that. It's like, I'm doing spiritual work. All right, yes, you are. If you connect to some of these spiritual, sacred places, usually it's work related on some level. But if you're going to like Hawaii or something like that, well, there's obviously that's work related too. But if you're going to like a vacation place, like you think about it, you probably are going there astrally just to calm things down. Doesn't have to be there physically. It's not always necessary for that. Sometimes you're looking at a postcard and that's enough. Not to say you can't go to these places, but it's like, is it meaningful? Is it going to help you? Is it going to slow you down? Is it going to this and that? We realize people need to live a little, but in this day and age, being practical would probably be good. Probably the best way of saying it. But feel free to go anywhere you wish, of course. The donut frequencies, realize also that's, even the hamburger, people hear about that. It's like, what are you talking about? You're out of your freaking mind. Well, on an esoteric level, it makes complete sense when you see like what a donut does to people. Sugar entices, pulls, taps into more of the youthful child energies, and then of course when you're a kid, you can eat that stuff. Well, you shouldn't, but yeah, children are kind of like garbage disposals. Unfortunately, they can just eat anything practically. Of course, when they get older, that's a whole different story. Yeah, it's not what it's cracked up to be though. um, but the hamburger is another one. Now the hamburger is at least it's blanketed or designed to be a little bit more friendlier, you can say, because how many people are rushing out to eat donuts for dinner? Not many. But hamburgers and things like that. But the hamburger, once again, at least the way it's being prepared on a massive level, is not exactly the best vibe. And it's kind of like a slow death sentence, you can say. Well, because of the chemical warfare that's built within it, and it's kind of creating exit points, at least for the future. Obviously, you get a more higher quality hamburger, which are usually eat less. We don't have those. It just digests better. Let's put it that way. And doctors haven't quite figured everything out yet, and they're not supposed to either. You're not supposed to be here forever either. Well, eventually, when we become more immortal beings, you don't need food anymore. And I think some of you noticed that some people that live for a long time don't really eat a whole lot because they don't need to, because their energy is just at a frequency where they can just live forever. They just don't. Energy is their food, or just as long as their mind is operating decently, they can live as long as they need to. Of course, they don't need to be here for 400 years. No purpose of that. Not yet. For that to happen, humanity has to let go of a lot of its internal warfare it's going through, which is not a place like to give you an example, a place like Brazil in South America has a lot of manipulations there. If you have not checked, maybe you can look into it. Haiti is under attack. Well, Haiti, it's just there's a portal to the underworld there, as you can see, and it's mostly like a war there than on the planet itself. But it's giving you an idea of what the demonic realms look like. Very hostile. And a lot of those souls are taken over. Well, without going to all the details, it's kind of giving you an idea who's controlling your world. Well, like the avatar energies, what the form they choose. Obviously, demonic beings are just charcoal demonic energy, but they take a certain avatar to control society. Now, it's not an entire race, but it kind of shows how they operate once again. It's education, if you wish to look into that. As for donut, eating a donut, well, for most life, it's probably not good for anybody to eat a donut like ever. But if you do, as long as it has the better ingredients and less sugar, less that stuff on the top. If it's more, wheat, that's a little bit better. Still has the intent. Yeah, it's it's interesting though that some people here probably will never eat food ever again after being on this planet. Had enough of that one. Brings you energies into quantum realms, quantum physics, frequencies. So think about quantum realms as it's like artistic, dimensions being put together. Just like the chemistry of your reality is being spliced together on so many. There's through numbers, through images, through shapes, and slowly kind of putting your world together. Now that's not showing the full aspect of it, but it is showing some version of it. That is, it's like you can say almost like the physical realm created itself, or needed to be created. As you heard about this Earth, kind of like it was just there, but there are universes where you can go back to the beginning of the physical realms, even also the non-physical realms. There's this, you think you have a story about your planet. Think about that. Think about the history of which still has a that needs to be solved of like where the non-physical realms come. Where did all of this come from? In general, physical, non-physical consciousness. You could say conscious. I mean, even when there's nothing, there's always something there. And consciousness kind of creates itself. It's like, it's like even the consciousness of nothing has a consciousness. And it's like a blank piece of paper, you can say, or air, or a dead space, whatever it is. And it slowly just invents itself to whatever it needs to be to build more like on itself. Kind of, so it's actually tapping more into like its godlike abilities, not to say, or higher dimensional abilities. Humans created a god just so they could have someone to run to. Especially, well, because it's to dive off to where we're getting at. The God energy here, now obviously that's a touchy subject, but it's like the human kind of needed of course, obviously alien beings are just manipulating the hell out of people. I mean, literally just abusing humanity left and right. And that's what, of course, they have godlike abilities, higher dimensional abilities. Why, obviously, they shut down the human a great deal too. But they did not stop the aliens from manipulating society as they do now, as you have realized. And it's just they just can't. It's like they're addicted to life forms like yourselves that are not aware of your abilities. And just like anyone else, maybe you met these people. It doesn't mean that they're God. Well, everyone's a God being when it comes down to, or some kind of higher dimensional being. But yeah, God beings being bullies. and some people have been godlike beings. Well, we just use that term. But like in school, you would kind of run into some of them. I think there's still all that. I'll go into all the details of it. So, as for the invention of where nothing came into something, every universe is consciousness. So some have to have a whole convoluted story. Some don't even care. And just it depends on what reality you're in. Your universe is a stubborn universe. It wanted nothing to do with the other universes and even became isolated. And so when you all come here, you kind of isolate. Even the higher dimensions here is isolated to some level. You're all living in each other, different homes, houses, apartments, whatever it is that you call it. You're not exactly living among each other. You kind of are, but not really. So kind of a distance. Even like when you go to the grocery stores, and people are saying, "Hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going? Hey." Well, of course, obviously, that could drive you crazy after a while. But it's like if you can go there and be telepathic to everyone, it's like, "Hey, what are the good deals?" And you kind of like telepathically connect to people and maybe save a couple bucks. So telepathic energies that you're tapping into, some of you are, become more aware of it over time, where darkness here always to be more understood. Like when you start, it's like understanding the darkness here is like understanding how a magician works. Like you just on an intuitive level starts to figure it out. Obviously, it doesn't work much on you, but it also dilutes it for others. Of course, those that are at a lower frequency are easy to manipulate because of just ego and whatever it might be, and they can't let go of this physical realm. But some of you that are non-physical beings that are here are learning how to be physical because it's necessary for your growth. Obviously, there's a lot more to it than that. And we can't always go into the details of it. Some find this a lot of punishment because it's a physical dimension. You can't manifest instantly like you can't higher dimension. Of course, not all dimensions can do that. A lot of the beings here that are captured, that are even spiritually developing, a lot of them are sent here to get their act together. And some of them are spiritual teachers, and they might be using it. They might be doing a terrible job at it. It just shows why they're here. If they're here manipulating people like as a cult, and they're allowed to do it, because, like, you know what? Enjoy it while it lasts. because you're going to have all that stripped away. And obviously, they're going to just laugh that off right now. Not to say anybody needs to be laughing, but they're not going to be laughing after you go to the karma of all this. But once again, it's part of their growth. Some of these spiritual teachers have sold themselves out so easily. And then, of course, they justify it. I'm ascending, I'm doing this, I'm a higher dimensional being, and all that. And that's great and everything, but when they show how you're manipulating society, it's like, oh, well, you can call yourself whatever you want. Your fate has been written, you could say. So, and some of you here to expose some of that, but obviously the collective here is not quite ready because it needs to learn to that type of school for whatever reason. But as for creating this reality, you all contribute to this physical realm in some form or another. And that's just not having an incarnation. It's just we all a lot of creations here. Even if, well, you might not put a whole lot of thought into it, but either way, like you might not came up with the idea, but kind of like you put your support into it. Like become a following it and assisting it energetically to build it. And so wanting a warning from that, like as the world starts to develop, and warning from it, same as this one. Of course, for you, this one's very exhausting. But some of you have actually part of why it's so complicated. A challenge, yeah, it's like chess. This is like a chessboard, but in the physical realm. A lot more complicated, though. You can say you're finding a way out, but also you want to find, if you find a way out, but you want to, pass and go, get your reward or whatever you want to call it. You went through all this for a reason, not just for the reward, but you are opening yourselves up. Spiritually, it's just not easy. Just follow your instincts. Of course, there's more to it than that. Clearing the confusion of the mind will help also. So,